What up, the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. Yesterday they had the United Nations Global Climate Action Summit in New York City yesterday, where world leaders and youth and climate activists actually met and discussed preventative measures towards apocalyptic climate change. Now, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres actually admitted that his generation failed in its responsibility to protect our planet. Greta Thunberg, now this 16-year-old Swedish white girl who's a climate activist, been skipping school every Friday for the past year and some change to actually protest and bring awareness to climate change, and all bubbled up into this global climate march that happened this past Friday, where worldwide about 4 million people took action and marched and brought awareness to the need for climate change. She actually gave a really impassioned speech that had a lot of quotables in it. She looked like she was about to cry and all of that, whatever. Then dickhead Donald Trump goes and retweets a video of that, saying like, oh, she seems like such a nice girl, such a bright future ahead of her, whatever, like mocking her, right? Go figure. Very classless. But her and other youth activists filed an official complaint under the Convention for the Rights of the Child, calling on world leaders to make a move on this shit. So we'll see if it turns into anything. Green War on Grad. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. Sign that petition, y'all. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org and look up Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Is that exactly why he should be removed from that platform, including violating Twitter policies, putting us, U.S. troops, people abroad in danger? The shit has to stop. Now, speaking of Trump, he did make an unexpected stop at yesterday's United Nations Climate Action Summit. But he actually stopped there briefly before he went on to a United Nations session on religious freedom. And he actually pledged $25 million towards the protection of religious freedoms, religious sites, and relics. Now, on the other hand, you had Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar, who actually went to a United Nations General Assembly and was urging people to stop using the term reproductive health and rights. Said that it's going to promote abortion, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he says. It's going to promote terms like, it's going to promote abortion. So, this is the Health and Human Services guy. Like, that lets you know what type of time the Trump administration is on. Green War on Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. Sign my petition, y'all. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go to change.org and look up Get Donald Trump off Twitter, spelled how it sounds, lays out exactly why he should be removed from the platform, including violating Twitter policies, putting us, U.S. troops, people abroad in danger. Shit he do in regular life, but we can at least stop it on Twitter. Now, in regular life, so the Washington Post is actually reporting that scenario I told y'all about, where there was like a whistleblower complaint being hidden related to Trump, essentially talking to the Ukrainian president. Then it came out that he was talking about Joe Biden and launching an investigation of him out there, some treasonous shit, right? Trump admitted to that, but insisted there was no quid pro quo. Now, the Washington Post is, and them sourcing 3 top administration officials, said that Trump halted $400 million in military aid to Ukraine a week before he actually had the conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky about launching an investigation on Joe Biden and his son, who has a business out there. Now, the Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy actually said that the president of Ukraine told him that he believes that that's why they cut off the aid, because he refused to launch such an investigation. So now Nancy Pelosi is on board with impeachment proceedings. It's getting that bad. So his days might be numbered and his curtains might be closing. Green War on Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. Make sure y'all sign my petition, y'all. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go to change.org and look up Get Donald Trump off Twitter, spelled exactly how it sounds, lays out exactly why you should be removed from the platform, violating Twitter policies, putting us, U.S. troops, people abroad in danger, the whole fucking nine. Now, over in Britain, though, you actually had the British Supreme Court that had a historic ruling today that basically ruled that Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who I've been telling y'all about, fairly new Prime Minister who he came into his power this year, who actually had tried to suspend, or he actually suspended Parliament, and knowing that the deadline for coming up with a deal for Brexit was at the end of October, and it seemed like he was trying to force the country into a no-deal Brexit, which I guess benefits a few people. But it turns out that the Supreme Court ruled that his suspension of Parliament was unlawful, and that Brenda Hale, actually the head of the Supreme Court, said that the prorogation was unjustified and had no effect. So Boris Johnson is actually in New York for the UN General Assembly. We'll see what his next move is. Green Wall and Graduation. We'll go to Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Britain, France, and Germany actually said in a joint statement yesterday that they know that in last month the attacks that took place against the oil facilities in Saudi Arabia were definitely done by Iran. And also, you also have Saudi Arabia that actually said that they unquestionably were committed by Iran. But at the same time, Iran did not claim responsibility for the attacks. The Houthi rebels actually claim responsibility for the attacks, and they're out there in Yemen. But that doesn't mean there's no conspiracy at play. It could be a move to provoke these powers to actually attack them, so they could look like the aggressors, and it may have some shit for them. And I mean, who knows, yo? But like, I'll let y'all know what's happening, because you know our motto: Green Wall and Graduation. But what seems to be certain in the public dialogue is that Iran nor Iraq, the motherfuckers do not want to go to war. We'll see how this pans out. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Sign my petition, y'all. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go to change.org and you'll actually find the petition. Get Donald Trump on Twitter. Lays out exactly why he should be removed from the platform. Now, over in Afghanistan, actually on Sunday night, while people were attending a wedding, 40 Afghan civilians were killed by the U.S. and Afghan forces. Now, civilians were believed to have actually been caught in a crossfire while being next to a Taliban hideout. Now, according to the Afghan Ministry of Defense, there were at least 22 Taliban members killed, along with 14 arrested. So, you know, of course, this is bizarre to me, because I've been telling y'all for months on how the U.S. has actually been meeting with Taliban forces and, you know, trying to bring peace between them and Afghanistan. The whole shit is shady. But this comes after a week of since the U.S. actually had launched a drone strike that killed 30 civilian farmers. So, you know, elections are coming up. I told y'all I get like that over there. The presidential elections will be this Saturday. We'll see how this pans out. Green Wall and Graduation. Go to Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump on Twitter. Find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. Now, I've been telling y'all about over in Haiti. Yo, for the past several months, protests have been rocking the whole country. Them trying to get President Jovenel Moise to actually step down ever since he's been accused of corruption and the mismanagement of Haiti's economy and dealing with like the Petrocaribe petrochemical funds that's supposed to be dealing with the oil in Venezuela and all of that shit, right? So they were, but protests actually got crazy yesterday outside of Haiti's parliament, because Moise was actually trying to push confirmation through for a new prime minister, Fritz William Michel. Now, while during these protests, Senator Jean-Marie Ralph Fettieri was actually trying to come outside, and he ends up shooting out of what he claims is self-defense one of the Associated Press photojournalists in the face. Sherry Nalio it survived, and it only has injuries though. Green Wall and Graduation. We'll go to Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Sign my petition, y'all. Get Donald Trump on Twitter. You can find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can just check it out at change.org and look up Get Donald Trump on Twitter. Lays out exactly why you should be removed from that platform. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no holes in my proof, man. Yo, so make sure y'all read it, man. Woman, child, you know what I mean? All y'all, make sure y'all read it and then sign that motherfucker. We gotta get him out of here. Keep putting us U.S. true people abroad in danger. Now, there's this video that's actually some drone footage that's actually popped up on YouTube showing in China rows of blindfolded Uyghur Muslims and other Muslim minorities in China actually being blind. They're blindfolded, you know, they're sitting on their knees. Looks like all of their heads are shaved, and they're waiting until they're being led away by police, apparently to a train station in Xinjiang. So this has sparked like a new renewed concern about the cultural genocide that China has been accused of taking against the Uyghur Muslims over there. So it's believed that 1 million Uyghur Muslims and other Muslim minorities have actually been displaced in these determined camps, or these prison camps essentially, and have been separated from their children. The U.S.'s Senate has actually already put in policy to try to do something about it. Still waiting on the rest of the government to get aboard. Green Wall and graduation, shit. The New World Order, Bishop Brady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, I've been telling y'all about the election process that's actually been going on over in Israel. So Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu actually lost the Prime Minister seat to Benny Gantz. But Benjamin Netanyahu being from the Likud party and Gantz being from the Blue and White party. But it turns out that neither party was actually able to secure a victory last week. So President Reuven Rivlin is actually calling for a unity government. This is after Gantz had actually refused to have a coalition, a unity government with Benjamin Netanyahu, who's facing 3 corruption indictments, by the way, and possibly set to face charges within the upcoming weeks and months. But apparently negotiations are really just about now who's going to lead the government first. So we'll see how this saga continues. Green Wall graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Brady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. FBI arrested active duty military member Jared William Smith, 24-year-old white boy who was accused of basically sharing online instructions on how to build a bomb, committed violence against anti-fascist group members. Also, even reportedly talked about bombing news network, reportedly CNN. He also even listed not listed, but he claimed that presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke, a Democratic presidential candidate for 2020, was a target, and also talked about joining a far-right group in Ukraine. Now, prosecutors are saying this, and they're saying he could face up to 20 years if convicted. I'm not sure what he would be convicted for, but America has an awful habit of trying to jail the fuck out of people. When really this might be a scenario to just, interview this man and get some fucking help. And maybe we could get to the bottom of some of these mass shootings and killings that be taking place. Or some of these deranged white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta cut that out, dog. I'm not condoning any of that shit at all, but still, 20 fucking years, not even laying a finger on nobody, not doing no type of damage. Oh, come on now, Green Wall and graduation now. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, I told y'all over this past year about how 2 different Boeing 737 MAX 8 air flights had crashed. You had Indonesian's Lion Air Flight 610 that crashed, and then 5 months later, you had Ethiopian Air Flight 302 that crashed. Total, they killed 346 passengers on board. Now, Boeing announced yesterday that they'll actually be providing $50 million in financial assistance to the families of those who died in the crash. Now, keep in mind that investigators have actually said that Boeing lied to Congress about how prepared about the safety inspections that took place. Apparently, a whistleblower complaint revealed that the safety inspectors that were charged with, assigned to actually train the Boeing 737 pilots were underqualified. Green Wall and graduation.